In the heart of Madrid, where the sun casts its golden hue over historic plazas and the scent of freshly baked churros wafts through the air, lies the Vallecas district, a place that, on the surface, seems to embody the vibrant spirit of Spain. Yet, beneath its lively facade, Vallecas harbors a tale so chilling that it sends shivers down the spine of even the most skeptical. The story of Estefanía Gutiérrez Lázaro, a young girl whose insatiable curiosity for the supernatural led her down a dark path, has become a haunting legend that still lingers in the shadows of this bustling city. It was the year 1990, a time when the world was awakening to new possibilities and the allure of the unknown beckoned to the young and adventurous. Estefanía, a 16-year-old with a rebellious streak, embodied the spirit of her generation. She was not just another teenager lost in the throes of adolescence. She was a seeker, drawn to the mysteries of life and death, the seen and the unseen. Her fascination with the occult was not merely a passing phase. It was a consuming passion that led her to explore the realms of the supernatural with an intensity that would ultimately prove to be her undoing. In the confines of Colegio Público Aragón, Estefanía and her friends gathered one fateful afternoon, their laughter echoing off the classroom walls as they prepared to engage in what they believe was a harmless game. The Ouija board, an instrument of communication with the spirits, lay before them, its letters and numbers promising a connection to the other side. But what began as innocent curiosity quickly spiraled into something far more sinister. As their fingers traced the planchette, a palpable energy filled the air, thick and suffocating, as if the very atmosphere had shifted to accommodate the presence of something otherworldly. Then, like a thunderclap in a clear sky, their teacher burst into the room, her face a mask of anger and fear. In a fit of rage, she seized the Ouija board, shattering it against the floor. But in that moment, as the board splintered into pieces, it was as if a Pandora's box had been opened. A dark mist, swirling and alive, erupted from the remnants, coiling itself around Estefanía. Her friends watched in horror as her body convulsed, her eyes rolling back, her breath hitching in her throat. In that instant, the girl they knew was transformed, as if something had taken root within her, something that would soon grow into a malevolent force. The days that followed were a descent into madness. Estefanía, once vibrant and full of life, became a shadow of her former self. Night after night, she was plagued by nightmares so vivid and terrifying that they left her screaming in terror, drenched in sweat. She spoke of shadowy figures that lurked in the corners of her room, whispering in a language that sent chills down her spine. Her parents, Concepcion and Maximino, initially dismissed her fears as the overactive imagination of a teenager. But as the weeks wore on, they could no longer deny that something was terribly wrong. Estefanía's behavior grew increasingly erratic. She would enter trance-like states, her laughter echoing off the walls one moment, only to be replaced by gut-wrenching sobs the next. Her voice morphed, taking on a guttural timbre that was foreign to her. She spoke of things she had no way of knowing, her body contorting in ways that defied explanation. Objects in the house began to move of their own accord. Books flew from shelves, lights flickered ominously, and doors slammed shut with a force that left the family reeling. It was not long before Estefania's siblings reported seeing her levitate, her body hovering inches above her bed, eyes wide and unseeing, as if she were caught between two worlds. One night, Concepcion entered her daughter's room to find her crouched in the darkness, growling like a feral animal. The horror escalated, and soon, Estefania's aggression turned physical. She lashed out at her family, her once gentle spirit replaced by an unrecognizable entity that sought to harm those who loved her most. Desperate for answers, her parents turned to the medical community, seeking help from doctors and specialists. They received a diagnosis of epilepsy and psychotic hallucinations, but the prescribed medications did little to alleviate Estefania's suffering. Instead, her condition deteriorated, and the darkness that enveloped her grew ever more oppressive. The family was trapped in a nightmare with no end in sight. On August 14, 1991, the nightmare reached its tragic climax. Estefania was rushed to the Gregorio Marañón Hospital, her parents clinging to the hope that medical intervention would save their daughter. In her final moments, she let out a blood-curdling scream that echoed through the sterile halls, a sound so filled with despair that it reverberated in the hearts of all who heard it. And then, silence. Estefanía Gutiérrez Lázaro was dead. The cause of her demise a mystery that left her family shattered. Most would assume that the family's torment ended with Estefania's death. But the true horror was only beginning. In the weeks that followed, the Gutiérrez Lázaro home became a hotbed of paranormal activity. The walls, once a sanctuary, now echoed with the sounds of knocking and scratching. Doors swung open and shut as if controlled by an unseen hand. The family felt a chilling presence, one that seemed to grow stronger with each passing day. Concepcion, racked with grief, would often hear Estefania's voice calling out to her from the darkness, pleading for help. One night, a photograph of her daughter spontaneously burst into flames, leaving the family in a state of disbelief and terror. The entity that had taken hold of their home became increasingly violent, culminating in a terrifying incident where Maximino was thrown to the ground by an invisible force, while their youngest son bore the marks of an unseen attacker. In their desperation, the family sought help from the authorities. On November 27, 1992, Inspector José Pedro Negri and his team arrived at the Gutiérrez Lázaro residence, skeptical yet intrigued by the reports of strange occurrences. What they experienced that night would haunt them for the rest of their lives. According to the official police report filed under Negri's name, the officers witnessed phenomena that defied explanation. A crucifix ripped from the wall, claw marks appearing on wooden doors, and a heavy armoire swinging open violently without cause. The air grew cold, a palpable chill that seeped into their bones, leaving them shivering in fear. The officers left the house that night, forever changed by what they had witnessed, their skepticism shattered. The report they filed remains one of the few official government-documented accounts of paranormal activity, a testament to the reality of the Gutiérrez Lázaro family's ordeal. The Vallecas case has since become a cornerstone of Spain's paranormal history, a chilling reminder of the unknown that lurks just beyond the veil of our reality. Eyewitness testimonies, medical records, and the police report all converge to create a narrative that is both compelling and terrifying. Yet amidst the haunting details, questions linger. What truly happened to Estefanía? Was she a victim of her own curiosity, or did she unwittingly unleash something far darker than she could comprehend? Some argue that Estefanía's struggles were rooted in mental illness, a tragic spiral into hysteria that manifested as supernatural phenomena. Others contend that her fascination with the occult opened a gateway to forces beyond this world, entities that sought to claim her as their own. The truth remains elusive, shrouded in mystery and speculation, leaving the Vallecas district forever marked by the events that transpired within its walls. To this day, the Gutiérrez Lázaro apartment stands empty, a ghostly reminder of a family torn apart by tragedy and torment. The echoes of Estefanía's laughter, her cries for help, and the darkness that enveloped her linger in the air, a chilling testament to the reality of her existence. And as the sun sets over Madrid, casting long shadows across the cobblestone streets, the question remains, was Estefanía merely a victim of her own curiosity, or was she a conduit for something far more sinister? The Vallecas case invites us to ponder the boundaries of our understanding, to confront the mysteries that lie just beyond our perception. In a world where science often seeks to explain away the unexplainable, the story of Estefanía Gutiérrez Lázaro serves as a haunting reminder that some truths may be too terrifying to confront. As we reflect on the chilling events that transpired in Vallecas, we are left with the unsettling notion that the line between the natural and the supernatural is far more porous than we would like to believe. And so, we invite you to explore the depths of this mystery, to engage with the questions it raises. What do you believe happened to Estefanía? Was it a tragic consequence of mental illness? Or did she truly encounter forces beyond our understanding? The echoes of her story resonate through the ages, urging us to confront the darkness that lies within and around us. As we delve into the unknown, we must ask ourselves, are we prepared to face what may be lurking just beyond the veil? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into the world's most intriguing mysteries.